Hello ladies and gentlemen, Top Hat Gaming Man here with Luke Street, here to welcome you to another exciting edition of Top Hat Chat. Today we are going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about?
The 3DS.
The 3DS, yes.
Specifically, and handhelds, and why they are...
We're on another exciting edition of handhelds around the living room, I see. Excellent. Great.
Yeah, can I move these now?
Move them however you like.
Okay. Hold on. I need some face.
Do you want me to take some?
Yeah, if you take some.
Thank you.
There you go. There we go. I'm free. Right, we have many boxes here. I'm assuming you started buying these up when you actually started collecting more seriously.
Well, as you can see, I started keeping the boxes, yes, yeah, which I didn't do.
You actually started keeping
with my earlier systems.
Yes, so we have many boxes here, and you wanted to make a specific point about the 3DS.
Yes, and the point I wanted to make actually is that people seem to always complain about systems whenever Sony or Microsoft release an updated or upgraded version of a system. Like the amount of people who got really angry about the Xbox One S existing and the PlayStation 4 Pro existing. People got really angry, but no one seems to get that angry with all the DS updates. So what's different about the DS updating to those systems updating?
It doesn't make any sense. I really can't find a reason for it. I really can't. I mean, you had the original DS. That was the first one.
Yes.
What came next?
We got the original DS. We then got the DS. Was it called Slim? The DS.
There was a Lite.
It's here. What is it? Ah, the Lite. Yes, that's the term.
Yeah.
We got the DS Lite.
Yeah.
We've got two DS Lites here.
I had a black one.
Yeah. We got the DS Lite. We then got the DSi. I've not got the box here for some reason, but I've got one of those.
Yeah,
too.
DSi next.
Then we got the DS XL. We then got the 3DS. We then got the 3DS XL. It then deviated and we got a 2DS as well, which was like a lower spec model. And then we got a new 3DS, and then we got we got a new 3DS XL, and then we got a new 2DS.
You see, I didn't even realise, sitting down, knowing that we were going to be looking at this as a subject, models. I didn't realise there were that many.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. Like, why are people not angry about this? I've never seen somebody get angry about this. Why?
I don't know.
I've had people, like, properly have a go at me, going, oh, why on earth would you want to buy an Xbox 360 Slim? Why on earth would you want to buy an Xbox One X? Why on earth would you want to buy a PS4 Pro? Like, I've had people properly have a go at me.
Well, I actually got the new 3DS XL on launch day, actually.
This is something that you don't do very often.
No, but I'll tell you why I bought it. It's because I was lied to some degree. Nintendo kind of marketed it as an actual proper new system because hold a sec. Go again.
Go. What are you looking for?
Yes.
I know what you're looking for. Console exclusives.
Yes, it came with Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, which was a Wii game which got ported over to the 3DS.
Nintendo and their ports.
Yes, they ported it over. And because it says only for new Nintendo 3DS, I made the inference that most games going forward would be new 3DS titles.
So it's going to be a new console.
Exactly, so technically it was a new console. If it's got exclusives, it is a different console. In all technicality, surely.
Well, you would think so.
Yes. But then, every other game that came out for at least 2 years was just a 3DS game. So this was the only one.
I mean, you have quite a few games just back there.
And this is the only new 3DS game I own.
You have, just literally through eyesight,
about 70 to 80 games.
Yeah, just there you've got at least 50, probably.
I think there's between 70 and 80.
And then you've got some more elsewhere.
Yes.
And this is the only one that is an exclusive.
It's the only one I own. There's a few out
yeah, that's
now.
what I mean.
Yeah, there are a couple more, but there's probably about 10 exclusives.
And again, that's semi-exclusive.
So
because that was a port anyway.
Yes. So I would not have bought. And again, a lot of the new 3DS games that are out now is because they're also Nintendo Switch games. So you can get it on the new 3DS, or you can get it on the Nintendo Switch, like Fire Emblem Warriors, for example.
That feels really scummy. That's all. Oh, that's resellers.
I just the thing is, yeah, that's why I bought it, because I was tricked. Otherwise, I would have been just as annoyed about it as the Xbox One S and the PS4 Pro. I wouldn't have seen a purpose. But they pretended there was a purpose, even though that purpose never actually happened.
There was a slight purpose. If you wanted to play the 5 games that are actually exclusive for, I know there's more.
There's more. There's another reason why to own a new 3DS as well. Because it actually has a library in the eShop of Super Nintendo games you can download.
Right, okay. So the 3DS, the original 3DS, not the new one, the original 3DS should have the power to be able to do all of that.
It does, but Nintendo are twats. It's as simple as that. They made it okay. If you spend hundreds of pounds and buy a new 3DS, we would let you download really old games onto your new 3DS.
So they could have quite happily done this with the original 3DS.
Yes, but they just chose not to.
And they chose not to actually give people a reason to sell a very slightly upgraded console.
Yes, indeed.
That's dickish.
It is really dickish, but no one talks about this really.
No, they don't.
I don't know why.
It's horrible. I mean, I have extra props. And I can't remember why we have them.
I think probably because we were just looking at what else was on the market other than DS's, maybe.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's a really... Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for my prompt.
Okay.
So, the other things, the other options to handheld... No, other handheld options.
Okay. What went up against the DS was the PlayStation Portable. But,
yes. For all intents and purposes, this is a better system.
It's a great system, but it has its flaws. I think its weakness is load times. Who wants load times on a handheld? That's a bit of a joke, isn't it? And apart from that, it doesn't have Pokemon, and that seems to be the only reason handhelds can't compete with Nintendo ones anymore. Is a lack of Pokemon, which we discussed in our previous video.
Yes. And when did this come out?
Oh, the PlayStation Vita, I believe, 2011 or 2012, around that sort of time.
So what would this have been going up with?
The 3DS.
So this was that was going up against the DS.
Yes.
And this was going up against the 3DS.
Yes.
And this is a better system.
In terms of power and many other things, yes it is, but it hasn't got Pokemon. So it was doomed. Simple as.
So you're saying that pretty much there is no way of competing with Nintendo as far
Not
as
unless someone can come up with a franchise like Pokemon but better.
Obviously people have tried, specifically PlayStation or Sony have tried. They also had a little go with mobile devices.
They did. This Xperia Play as well, which is technically a gaming handheld / phone.
My cousin had one of these, and he used to play on it quite a bit, getting buses to and from work and stuff like that. And he let me have a go, and this was great.
I think the issue with it is the marketing. Like, why obviously Sony did not believe in it themselves. Otherwise, they would have called it the PlayStation phone, wouldn't they, rather than the Xperia Play?
Yes.
So they clearly never believed in it in the first place.
Because they didn't want to associate it with their brand name.
Exactly.
So lots of people have had a go, and lots of people haven't succeeded.
Yes, everyone has failed going up against Nintendo handhelds, even when they're complete twats, like releasing this new Nintendo 3DS system. Like I really, really love the 3DS. It's probably my all-time favourite Nintendo platform.
You've said this quite a bit.
It really is my all-time favourite Nintendo platform. The 3DS is just so good. The 3DS, the new 3DS though, I don't think it was really needed. It didn't really offer anything other than trick consumers into buying the new handheld to buy new 3DS exclusives, and the one that came out on launch was pretty much the only major one, really.
And even that was a port.
Yeah, just a port of a Wii game.
Yeah. So Nintendo, as discussed in our previous video, have a habit of, quite clearly, because of all these boxes that now surround us, not that they're on camera anymore, I think most of them have disappeared, they have a habit of basically making very, very minor modifications to their handhelds and then releasing them again and expecting people to buy them.
In fact, this brings me on to another amusing point actually. I mean, we were talking about this before. It's not just handhelds, it's mobile phones as well. For a while, we was being tricked by the general system into thinking that the smaller the phone, the better. So they would just keep releasing phones and handhelds and shrinking and making them smaller and smaller and smaller. And then they managed to trick everyone the other way and convince everyone the bigger the device, the better. So the devices went like this, and then they got really big again.
No, I'm not letting you use this as an argument because there's a reason for that.
Okay, let's hear.
Okay, the reason for that, I think, look at the very first mobile phones, right? The giant bricks.
Yes.
Right? They were mobile because you could take them away from a house.
Yes.
And over time, technology, like the internals, got smaller and smaller and smaller, and that was what their design goal was. It was to make the smallest possible thing that you don't have to carry around in a briefcase. Because I think before that, you had briefcase phones.
Yes, or car phones.
And car phones, which were portable technically, but not particularly portable. No. So they got smaller and smaller and smaller. Then technology kind of caught up and you started having kind of vague internet-y bits that you could do, and people started doing more and more with their phones. So they started getting bigger again. As people started using them as media devices more and more and more, and as cameras more and more and more, they started to increase in size again. So because that way the screen was getting bigger, so it actually functioned to do what you want to do. I know people that watch almost all of their TV on their phone because they have a big enough phone to do so.
I understand what you're saying, but why did they feel the need that they needed a really small phone in the first place originally? Were they just being idiots? Why did they need really little phones? What was wrong with their minds? Were they mental? Why were they doing that?
It was just the way that it was progressing.
Just fashion, isn't it? People just being idiots, paying a premium just for fashion to have a really small phone.
No, again, it was technology, and it was showing off the technology.
Exactly.
And the fact that something that, you know, a few years ago was like this is now like this.
Okay, so we've got a reason why that happened. Let's put that into handhelds though. Why did it happen with handhelds?
I don't know.
Was it just they've copied what's going on with phones? They've just put in line what's ever happened with phones? Is that all it is, a case of?
Well, it must have been, I suppose. I mean, gaming handhelds...
Like, it's got to a point now where the Switch doesn't even feel like a handheld because it's so big and cumbersome, it doesn't even fit in your pocket.
No, it doesn't.
It's really... I've said it before on this channel, I really don't like the Nintendo Switch. It's just not a real handheld.
Really? I've never heard you say that before.
Terrible battery life, terrible size. It's an awful handheld. Absolutely awful.
It's a passable handheld just because over there.
Yes.
That was a handheld.
Yes, in 1989.
And that one over there.
1995.
That was a handheld. And over there.
1990 something.
These were all handhelds.
And the Switch is still wider than all of them, which is just embarrassing.
What I'm saying is it's passable, just. I'll be the voice of reason-ish. It's still technically portable. It's technically still in your hands. It's just not practical.
So yes, Nintendo 3DS. Brilliant. New 3DS. Rip-off. Nintendo Switch. Pointless. I think we can agree on that, kind of. Can we agree on that?
Ish. I can see your point with the new 3DS, definitely. The 3DS itself was decent. The Switch has got a lot of potential, but there are some big design flaws that I think make it less of a boom and more of a gimmick.
Yes.
Which is Nintendo all over.
I suppose so, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comment section how much you love the Nintendo Switch, because I'm sure that's what most of you boring lot will be doing with your normal echo chamber nonsense. So, yes, tell us all about that, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all before, but we know you want to do it.
And also,
it's a compulsion. To
the 3 of you that owned one of these, what did you think of it?
Yes, let us know if you had an Xperia Play. That'd be jolly good. Cheerio!